is community engagement?
So, basically, the concept of community engagement is we have to put context to it. When it comes to this type of context, it has to do with engagement between the government and the people.
Okay.
And, but holistically, community engagement has to do with the process of engaging people with which services are provided for. It's either you are a government, even though you are a school, you are an industrialist, you are a production company. There is a clientele community, and whatever you are offering, there must be an engagement between the offerer and the receiver.
Okay.
I think that is a summary of what engagement process is between the community and the people that serve them.
Okay, so community engagement in governance is what you explained.
That is what we are focusing on today, I guess.
All right. Now, why is community engagement important in civic advocacy?
So, in governance, there is a global framework we call the Open Government Partnership that provided a toolkit for people leading through governance to deliver services. Okay. The foundation of leadership in governance is people-centered leadership provision.
Okay.
When you take people away from governance, then leadership is not inclusive.
Of course.
So when we're talking about governance, there is no basis for governance if people are not engaged. And that is why in the model we preach today, open government partnership that have foundations that builds around citizen engagement, that has pillars like access to information, co-creation, participatory planning. It has been abused. People in this part of the world, the only time they seek the concept of engagement with the community members is during the electioneering process, where they go for campaign and if they succeed. After they've succeeded in doing that, they cut off from people.
The communities completely.
So today, in the global governance framework, we are discussing the concept of governance co-creation, where what the government provides for the people are no longer what people in government thinks the people need, but what people actually tells that they need.
Okay.
And the only platform through which people can actually say what they need is community engagement.
Okay. So it is important because this is the way that the government gets to know what the people deal with directly.
Exactly.
Do you think this is lacking in the current system that we are in?
Yeah, it's lacking. Largely, like asking you, for instance, when last did you participated in the budget making of either your local government, the states, either the one you live in or the one you come from, even the national budget? When last did you have a say in what was designed in the budget? I'm not sure you can remember that. Basically, people in government, especially politicians, even technocrats today, they've mingled with the politicians, thinking that because they are in government and because they came among the people, they have the right to decide for the people what they think they want. Okay, there's a concept that makes us believe generally that we have bad roads, and once somebody can just decide that I'm fixing the road, that's what we need. But should we come together as a people and list the items of our needs in priority? Even though we need road, maybe that will not be the first thing that we will be doing. It might be that in a particular community, they might prefer that you give them hospital before you give them roads, based on what they are experiencing as at that time. They might say, okay, after the hospital, can you give us water? But, because this guy is just a local government chairman and he just believes, he doesn't need people's opinion to know what he is supposed to do. As a matter of fact, the system has been so, bullied, that even during electioneering, people campaign with a lot of promises that are not engaged. So you go to people and you promise them water, you promise them road. Did you ask them,
is that what
you need? But because the society also has agreed that they do not have a say in governance process, they don't even query those promises. They, you see them shouting and clapping, and at the end of the day, those roads and waters are not even done anyway. But the truth is, meeting people, going back to them, ask them questions. As a matter of fact, town hall meeting is a compulsory procedure in governance at any level. Okay, so we had some experiences in our organization where we work with the local government to provide technical support on participatory budgeting and planning. And we will ask the local government people, how did you come up with the budget you made last year? And they will say, yes, now we have councillors who, go to the people and then ask them, and then we'll ask the councillors, did you go to the people? So yes, of course, we went to the people. They told us they need, are you sure? Say, yes, okay, we've got some resources. Let's go to your ward level and hold town hall meetings. And then, fine, we had the time, we had the resources. We went to, using AMAC as a case study, we went to all the wards in AMAC in 2023 to organize town hall meetings with their councillors. I think Candido was the chairman as at that time. He was with us, followed us through the entire process. And one of the questions I first of all asked the community members is, we are here to ask you what you want, because the AMAC budget for 2023 is about happening. But your councillor told us that they came to you last year to ask what you needed so that it can be in the budget. I am here to ask.
Did he ask you?
Did
he ask you?
Because the councillor is standing, the people are here, the chairman is here, the budget director is here, all the people that should be here, they are here. And then we ask, were they here? And they say, no, they did not come.
First time we're seeing them.
This is the youth leader. These are the representatives of different communities under your ward. In real sense, we have abused our relationship with governance, both the people in government and even the citizens. Because over the time, they've made it look like we had no rights as citizens, and we've lost the competence to even engage. And that has made governance delivery and systems very, very terrible. And it's unfortunate.
All right. It's a very, very unfortunate situation right here, because we've had lots of people talk about this engagement, community engagement, political engagement. And now the president has talked about performance assessment move.
Yeah.
This has been on the news. There's going to be a performance assessment move. But again, we don't know how this is going to be done. But today we're talking about community engagement in governance. Now, from everything that you have said, I can't deduce that even in this process, the people of the grassroots level, the community, should be involved. Do you think that they should be actively involved in this assessment process? Or I'm just...
because the government has not been going back to the people to do scorecard, performance evaluation through different means that they're supposed to be doing it. One important method is to, host town hall conversations using different methods. They can use the radio, they can use the television, they can use the X spaces that, means that people can come together. They can use physical. You know, there's no excuse for not, doing those things, because there are so many alternatives through which citizens can go and begin to track the promises of the president's campaign. Yeah, people who are, tech savvy, who are enlightened in the society, can use that platform to actually track. The problem is not accessing these platforms and tracking. The last administration also came up with IMAC. It's also an online platform through which you can access all the federal projects across the country, how much they were awarded, who they were awarded to, what the progress is. The problem is not just putting these platforms up. The problem is how many people have interacted with these platforms and have gotten responses to their queries. Because that's what the engagement is. Engagement is not one way.
Yeah.
Engagement is, back and forth. And engagement is not afraid of being accused or criticized. Engagement is the readiness to, notwithstanding of what anybody says, we are ready to provide feedbacks until such person issuing the query is satisfied, or to a level where we can say we did our best. But just to fulfill all righteousness, most times this is what has been done with some of these initiatives. The one that has currently been launched now, we're not being pessimists, but I work in the civic space, and we lead activities around holding government accountable. It's beyond window dress of just promoting initiatives that you are not going to you are not going to be ready to follow through. Yeah, and it's challenging. As much as this is, some of these has always been, a one-way traffic. Government put these initiatives out. You go there and query them and wait if there will be feedback. Nobody is going to respond to you. Do they even need to put some of those complex initiatives? A common tweet by government agencies. Ask question under the tweet and wait if they will ever respond. So we have a system that is afraid to engage because there's so much the system is guilty of. And when there is guilt, engagement cannot prosper.
Well, that's a very huge one. When there is guilt, engagement cannot prosper. We've seen this with interviews, lots of interviews where people intentionally avoid answering the exact questions. Just last week, we had a Lila Johnson on the news trying to ask a question, and the question was being made a caricature of, and we didn't get like an exact answer to that situation right there. So this might be one of the challenges that, dissuades community engagement. But yes, according to UNICEF's report, it says that community engagement is one of the most powerful tools for development and humanitarian activities. So even as we join our voices in activism and we speak to contribute to helping this community expand their freedoms and their knowledge and whatever it is that we can do, we also need to explore some of the challenges so that we can now know how we can sort out the problem and what we can do to make headway. So let's explore some of the challenges that discourage community engagement in this part of the country.
You see, to be sincere, community engagement is challenging. Is the cost involved, if not intentionally, planned, is huge. You need to bring people together. You need to, plan logistics. There is expertise that is needed. Community mobilization is a skill that people in government need to build, which largely they do not have most times because they already have this fatigue. Citizens don't trust, people in government, and once there is little resistance, they just fag out. But the truth is, there are a lot of bottlenecks in ensuring efficient community engagement activities. Like I said, cost is involved. Skills of community mobilization, is involved. Truth and integrity is involved. In fact, this is one of the greatest ingredients, because if you call people once and you deceive them, if you call them again, you are not going to have them, at your meeting. Patience and intentional, behavior to ensure that you are not calling people to just listen to you. In this society, we don't just want to be respected, we want to be feared. And this is also a huge deficit in our governance process. People want to talk as, it's an ordinary councillor. He wants to talk, and then if anybody talk, you say, who are you? A chairman, if a chairman says something and a citizen want to say something, even if the chairman is not talking, you will see plenty of his details to harass you, those kind of you can see a joking scenario where an Arise TV reporter was asking the Minister of Works about a particular questions, and then he making a the thing is, if the lady was not courageous and was not, in fact, such ladies should be singled out for, because this is what people in government do to people. They bully you strategically, defend the man. Say, but he didn't shout on her, but he didn't
it was
do
an
something.
intellectual kind of thing.
You can imagine. But do you know what that gesture can do to the psyche of? But this is what the powerful people do to the common people in the society that defeats engagement process. And at that, at that formal level, that happening. What happens when we are doing such an engagement under a tree in a community where nobody is, all the town halls, they could just beat the person up and nothing will happen. So those are some of the bottlenecks we have, but then it's also showing as it defeats the progress we are supposed to be making in our governance space.
Well, I would have loved to have this conversation continue for quite a longer time, but I think we've exhausted the time we have to spend here. But quick one, we have been hanging out with Mr. Michael Semiye, and he's a community organizer and a campaigner and social justice activist with over 10 years of active experience. You can tell from, the analysis that he's been doing throughout his stay here in the studio. Now, he's the founder of Dean Initiative, an organization that focuses on scaling accountability and transparency initiatives at the local government level. Now, he has done a lot of activism, so we can trust for a fact what he is saying here today. Now, the conversation does not end here on radio. You can go across all social media platforms for ProMad Foundation. Now, you can follow at ProMad Foundation on X, which was formerly Twitter, and then on ProMad Foundation on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And you can follow through with the conversation as well. You can follow at Civic Matters on X and Civic Matters on Facebook. Just click these things. You're a click away to being a part of the conversation online. So it does not end here. It continues over there. Also, the social media platforms for Eagles FM streaming this live. You can continue the conversation right there on YouTube, on X, on TikTok, on Instagram. You can be a part of the conversation by just checking out the clips on the Civic Matters at Eagles FM Abuja, and then you're a click away. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael, for joining us here in the studio.
You.
We hope to have you again in the studio and probably dissect some of these things a bit further. Now, because of time, let me quickly call out the names of the people who won the winners of the quiz for last week. There's a Kate Mamza from Facebook, Mohammed Olarewaju. This guy literally has taken all 4 or 6 episodes, but from Facebook, or 5 episodes. Congratulations to him. There's Adunola, and then there's Aminu Kabiru from Facebook, and then Adunola is from X.